Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 32, lesson 6 homework. Make sure you are on the correct page. So today we are drawing an area model, then solving using the standard algorithm. Use arrows to match the partial products from your area model to the partial products in the algorithm. So right here what we have is 6 times 20. So I am going to multiply 6 times 2, which is equal to 12, and then I'm adding my 0 at the end because the 0 comes from here. So what I'm doing is like how I am looking at a multiplication chart. I am solving for 6 times 20. I got 6 right here and I got 20 right here. I am going to highlight it so that you can see it a little more clearly. So my 6 came from here and my 20 came from right here. Okay, now on this one right here, I'm going to multiply 6 times 7 again. My 6 came from the side right here, and my 7 came from the top right there. So that's where I'm getting that number. And I know that 6 times 7 is equal to 42 when I use my multiplication chart, okay? And when I add them together, I should receive the answer that I have over here. So I'm going to add 120 plus 42, and that is going to give me 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. Bring down my 1. So I get 162 right here. Now I'm going to multiply 30 times 20. Okay, so the number 30 comes from right here, and 20 comes from the top right over there. I know that 3 times 2 is equal to 6, and add the 2 zeros at the end. And over here, I have 30 times 7. Same thing, I have my 30. And right here, I have 30 times 7. So 3 times 7 is equal to 21. Add my 0 at the end. So I'm going to add 600 plus 210. Okay? 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. And 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. So I have 810. Now, I'm going to solve it in the standard algorithm way so you guys can see it as well. But notice that when you add 162 plus 810, you're going to get your final answer of 972. Let's see if we get the same answer over here. 7 times 6 is 42, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is going to give me 16. Bring down my 0. Look here, 162, 162. They are exactly the same. Bring down my 0 because I'm multiplying in my tens place. I'm crossing off the 4 so don't accidentally add it. So 3 times 7 is equal to 21. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. And then I'm going to add all of my numbers together. And notice right here, 810 is the same as 810 I find here. 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. 6 plus 1 is 7. And 8 plus 1 is 9. 972 and 972 are the exact same. So there are two ways to solve for multiplication. You can do the standard algorithm or you can solve using an area model. Whichever one works for you, but I do want you to make sure you know how to use the standard algorithm because it is going to show up multiple times. Now, we're going to move on to problem B. For problem B, same setup. I know that I am multiplying 6 times 500, so my 6 came from right here on the side, and 500 came from the top. Now I'm going to multiply. I know that 6 times 5 is equal to 30, and then I'm going to add my 2 zeros at the end. That gives me 3,000. Do the same thing. 6 comes from the side, and the 20 comes from the top. 6 times 2 is equal to 12, and add my 0 at the end. I get 120. And for the last one, I have 6 times 7. I know that the 7 comes from the top. So 6 times 7 is equal to 42. Now over here, I have 30 times 500. 30 comes from the side right here, and 500 comes from the top. Okay? 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Add 1, 2, 3 zeros at the end, and I get 15,000. Over here, I have 30 times 20. 20 comes from the top right here. 30 comes from over here. I'm going to multiply 3 times 2, which is equal to 6, and add my 2 zeros at the end. Gives me 600. Over here, I am multiplying 3 times 7, which is equal to 21, and add my 0 at the end, which gives me 210. Now, Same thing as this problem over here, you're going to add all of your numbers together. So right here, I'm adding 3,000 plus 120 plus 42. I get 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, bring down my 1, bring down my 3, I get 3,162. Over here, I'm adding together 15,000 plus 600 plus 210. So 0, 1, 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Bring down my 5, bring down my 1. I get 15,810. Now I can add those two numbers together to get my final answer at 3,162. 0 plus 2 is 2, 6 plus 1 is 7, 8 plus 1 is 9, 5 plus 3 is 8, and bring down my 1, I get 18,972. Now, I'm going to solve using the standard algorithm to see if I get the same thing. 7 times 6 is 42, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is equal to 16. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Notice that I get the same answer. I'm going to add a 0, cross off those numbers so I don't accidentally multiply or add them. I'm putting a 0 because I'm multiplying in my tens place. So 3 times 7 is equal to 21, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is equal to 8, 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Okay, I'm going to add everything together. 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 plus 1 is 7, 8 plus 1 is 9, and 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, and bring down my 1. And that is the answer I'm going to get. I got 18,972, and they are both the same. So what I'm doing is I know that it is correct. So now I can move on to the next page. Now, I am on page 33. They asked me to solve using the standard algorithm, so I don't have to do the area model. All I need to do is to multiply. I know that 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times, I'm going to use a different color pen. And the reason being is because I want to make sure that you guys can see they're different colored. 9 times 3 is 27. It helps some kids when it's different colors because visually you can learn. I'm trying to make sure this, okay, it's focusing. There you go. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. 3 times 6 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Bring down my 0 because I'm multiplying in my tens place. 5 times 9 is equal to 45. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 4 is 24. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 2 is 32. So I am going to add everything together. 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. And 2 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 4. And bring down my 0. I get 34,397. Okay. Now on the other side, I'm going to multiply as well. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 is equal to 14. Bring down my 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 9 is 45. Plus 3 is 48. 5 times 4 is 24. Sorry. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 4 is 24. Add my numbers together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. Sorry, 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 6. Bring down my 2. I get 26,288. Now I'm going to move on to problem C. Problem C, I'm adding 8 times 6, which is equal to 48. 6 times 5 is equal to 30, plus 4 is 34. 6 times 7 is 42. 42 plus 3 is 45. And my 0. Now I'm going to multiply. 4 times 8 is equal to 32. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is equal to 30. Add everything together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 3 is 8. 4 plus 0 is 4. And bring down my 3. I get 34,868. Now on this side, I'm multiplying 9 times 8, which is equal to 72. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 7